Here we go. Game number 1 between Golden Guardians and Echo kicks off in Necrotic Wake.
This dungeon is such a fiesta every single time we've seen it this weekend. Echo is doing a very similar pull to what we saw from them yesterday. Again, going with all this trash straight into Blightbone. Do note that it is Sanguine, so there was Sanguine healing coming in on Blightbone yesterday for the side of Echo whenever they were doing this pull. On the other side, Golden Guardians doing a really good job to get their first trash pack down, taking a little bit more conservative of an approach.
Yeah, so the best time that we had in Necrotic Wake to note is actually from Sloth, the number 8 seed team that is already eliminated. They had a 14 minutes 49 time, which is actually incredibly fast. And we have not seen Golden Guardians at all in this dungeon yet. So this is the first time we see Golden Guardians here. And this is also the last time that we see this dungeon, at least without the tiebreakers that we're going to be seeing later on. So Golden Guardians... you know, like despite the dungeon, they haven't practiced too much yet. And you can also see that they are not doing as risky of a pull as Echo is doing, right? So they dealt with the trash first, dealt with the Pride, and now they're using that Goliath buff to engage the boss. Well, Echo is taking quite a long time, though, for Blightborn here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the consequence of... So since they pulled all of the trash on top of the boss, and then they have the Pride spawning on top of that, the damage on the boss is going to be significantly reduced because they're not using a lot of cooldowns to effectively go into the boss. They're just using the boss more as like a cleave target. So, but it is still significantly more efficient. And so while Golden Guardians is definitely going to kill the boss within like 10 seconds, Echo has definitely gotten like a significant portion of their trash, and now they're making their way through the incident. So the efficiency of the cleave definitely being a little bit stronger on the side of Echo. Golden Guardians now downing Blightbone. Golden Guardians pulled a little bit different trash. So we saw Echo grab that top landing pack, where we see Golden Guardians actually just walking away from that. So there's definitely a little bit different of a trash. I would say that that's probably due to the opening pull. That was probably where the difference even comes through.
Yeah, I mean, they end up both being at 37% trash,
Yeah.
so they doesn't matter what they actually pulled, but considering that Echo did their trash plus boss in one pull, right? Like it was basically all within one combat time, while Golden Guardians had 2 separate pulls. And Golden Guardians really not that far behind, considering that it took them one more pull. Just because Echo lost time having to move the boss out of the Sanguine, having to move around, being able to survive, walking to the Kirin orbs, and so on. So in the end, not as big of a net time gain for Echo to do this boss pull, at least in comparison to what Golden Guardians did. As now both of them are fighting that 40% Pride.
Yeah, okay, so now Echo is actually starting to take a little bit of a lead. Echo ended up pulling Nerzuda, which is that mini-boss pack, with the rest of the trash that was in this area, and used their orb on that, whereas the Golden Guardians are taking a little bit slower of a pull, not pulling that mini-boss. That mini-boss is actually scary, so electing to not pull that is a reasonable expectation. Now Echo is onto this Bone Reaver, though.
I really like what they just did. So what just happened was that Gingy pulled the 2 Marauders that are at the exit of the bridge. He walked to the side, pulled them away, and then he used invisibility to de-aggro them while the rest of the team walked past. So the Marauders, they just said, you know what, we don't want them. It's just too many shields that we have to break. It's too many interrupts that we need on those fear casts. We're just going to skip them. So really nice use of mage utility here to be able to just completely skip those Marauders without having to use any sort of invisibility or anything like that, as they're up to 68% trash now.
Hey, look at this, Nagura. Golden Guardians are actually activating this other Goliath. We haven't seen many, if any, teams actually doing that Necromancer to be able to activate this Goliath for that Anima Exhaust buff up until this point. But now we do see the Golden Guardians are grabbing the Skeletal Monstrosity with all this trash, but they have the Anima Exhaust to help their damage by a pretty considerable amount. Where Echo, they've already spawned their 60% Pride, and you see Mira's, he's positioning himself up top so he can grip Jeeth probably over this little platform ledge, because Jeeth doesn't have access to things such as like Shadow Meld and whatnot to be able to actually make it through this Necromancer pack.
Yeah, this is a really good use because Maris was also the one who triggered the event here, because once you trigger this event, it takes quite a long time until a Marth is even attackable. So Maris using that invisibility potion to just go past the pack, dealt damage to the Pride from the top, and then after the Pride was done, they just gripped up Judith. So very, very efficient here. It looks like Shakib might be doing something similar as he's walking over to the left as well. And maybe he doesn't even need invisibility. Maybe Mind Soothe is already enough actually for the priests. So maybe that's why the priests are going there. But yeah, good job by both of the teams making sure they're proccing that event a bit faster. But Echo just dealing with the trash slightly quicker as they're already about to finish off Amarth, while Golden Guardians just now got done with their Pride.
It looks like Golden Guardians are actually gearing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's sick! the multi-seater mount grip tech. That's actually so smart.
Yeah.
So helping your friends get past terrain like that. Good job using that priest utility. I'm sure Jack is smiling somewhere.
Yeah, definitely really nice. It does take a little bit of a time to of course, you know, throw off your passengers to be able to mount up. But I would say it's definitely worth it for Golden Guardians to save that movement time all the way around. And you also have to not use any sort of potions or movement speed tricks. So you can save the movement speed for later on, those kind of like Door of Shadows or whatever you have available. So really, really like this by Golden Guardians. The only person who had to walk around was I'm Fired Up, of course, but he has got enough utility, mobility, I mean, to be able to go around quick. Echo now gearing up their really huge pull here in the Necropolis. This is really crucial for now to be able to stay alive here.
Yeah, this is the last like super difficult part of the dungeon, just depending on how big these teams believe that they can go during this area. You do see Echo really managing their Sanguine healing well. They use that Death Grip to be able to get that loyal creation out of that Sanguine. They're killing off their 80% manifestation of Pride. Looks like somebody used a hammer on it, or maybe it just got chunked for a considerable amount of its HP. It's because it didn't get stunned, so I don't believe that they hammered it actually, now that I'm really thinking about it. But now Golden Guardians. Oh, it probably was a cleaver. You're right. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so they were seeing the cleaver, the Flesh Crafter, sorry, in the corner, which you could just rename it to cleaver because that's what they're being used for. Because of that ability that targets a player, throws a cleaver at them, and it actually also does damage to enemies, not just your own players. So they really have been using this to their advantage here in a Necrotic Wake. And we've also seen them even carry one of those Flesh Crafters to the next trash groups, which we've only seen them do that with Mind Control, because Mind Control makes the Flesh Crafter basically appear as if it's not an enemy, and therefore the next trash group, the next gauntlet, is just spawning. Otherwise, you would not be able to do that. So really nice use of a priest utility here for all of those teams, as we see Maris just now mind controlling it, but it looks like it was too low HP, and they actually just finished it off.
Interesting. So, I mean, they would have liked to have used those throw cleavers to help them just go a little bit faster in this area, but unfortunately enough, not meant to be. So now you do see the Golden Guardians here doing the last pull before they end up spawning those double assistants, where on the side of Echo, they already have their assistants spawning, and these mobs we've seen cause a decent amount of problems. There's been a lot of Sanguine healing from these guys.
Yeah, definitely. They want to make sure that the assistants are a bit apart, because usually you have one assistant die before the other because of the cleaver mechanic that you're putting into them. You can see they're already a bit apart for Echo, so theoretically they should be enough apart for the Sanguine to not heal, but we'll see. Now actually just moved it a little bit apart even further to be able to not have any Sanguine healing whatsoever. Yeah,
ooh,
good job
perfect
for Echo. It was really close with the pool, but they did manage. As Yoda now also is gathering up those two assistants. They are a bit luckier on Golden Guardian side because they didn't have the both of the cleavers on the same person. While Echo did have the cleavers both on Jeeth, and if you have double fixate, you can of course not get both of the cleavers into the assistants, but only one. So a little bit luckier RNG, I guess, for Golden Guardians, as they have the cleavers on two different kind of people.
Yeah,
it looks like...
yeah, exactly. So they're keeping this Flesh Crafter CC'd on the side of Golden Guardians too, and continuing to mind control it so it will keep spawning the RP. I wonder if they're going to use it on Stitch Flesh, or like where they would even use it later.
I hear there's a little bit of a dogfight at Daniel's place.
Please don't refer to it as a
now-
dogfight. It's not what's happening.
As I see, Echo is now dealing with the last mob group here with the Rot Spew. The Rot Spew can cause some issues because of that area of denial it puts on the ground. It also targets random people in a group, and it can do a huge amount of damage on fortified, but shouldn't be an issue for Echo, as Golden Guardians is fighting the trash pack to the left. So there's just one trash pack difference right now between Golden Guardians and Echo, which Golden Guardians can theoretically make up on the bosses, but it's going to be hard. I assume that both of the teams still have the same amount of weapons left. If Golden Guardians somehow managed to save a weapon previously and still have it left, then it's possible they could make up time. And they also have the Flash Crafter, which Echo
That'll
does
help
not
a little
have,
bit.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. That'll help them kill the Pride. That'll also help them kill Surge and Stitch Flesh in general. But if you had to pick a side, I think you would absolutely rather be in Echo's shoes here. I think that they are something in the magnitude of probably like 45 seconds ahead, if I just had to guess. I think that just came... I think that they gained a lot of time off the mini-boss pull after the first boss, doing that with like the big anima orb. I feel like that was a pretty solid time save, just as a whole in the dungeon. But the Manifestation of Pride is about to go down for Echo. They have also engaged the Creation a little bit early, so that will help them have full uptime on this Prideful buff when Stitch Flesh comes down, and now they're able to just burn him with that Prideful buff. They're trying to make sure that he doesn't leap back up top, because if he leaps back up top, they can lose significant amounts of time there.
Yeah, definitely. They want to make sure they have enough damage to finish off this boss before that happens. And it looks like they are going to be able to do that, as Stitch Flesh is already below 55%. There we go. It is going down. They still have the Pride, actually. So they already had done the Pride. So you can see the Pride buff is still up. That means that... oh yeah, Golden Guardians did skip the Pride. You are right.
They haven't skipped it. They haven't spawned it.
Oh yeah, they haven't spawned it because of the Flash Crafter, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just going to be too little too late, because Echo still has the Pride buff, and they're going to be having a lot of damage here. They also have a bunch of weapons left. They have some hammers, and not sure if Miras does have a spear as well. Probably not. I assume it's just going to be hammers that are left. But either way, they still have a huge amount of damage here. They're probably going to be delaying the Dark Exile with Shadow Melts. There we go. First one on Fragments. Shadow Melt being used to delay the cast. Second Dark Exile going out. On Fragments again. Very unlucky, as they cannot delay it even further because Fragments get the Exile twice.
Yeah. So now Nalthor is dipping below 50% HP. Once you do have the Dark Exile start to go off pretty consistently, then the boss kill time starts to slow down dramatically. And this is definitely one of those fights that, like, the faster you kill it, it gets exponentially quicker. Golden Guardians, on the other side, have killed Surge and Stitch Flesh really, really slow by comparison of what we saw from Echo. And it's due to the fact that they're about to get their Pride right here. And so while they will get basically what is exponential gains on the Prideful buff onto Nalthor compared to Stitch Flesh, it's definitely a little bit too little too late, unfortunately, for the Golden Guardians, I think. Echo, you do see Jeeth there dropping that Ashen Hollow, starting to ascend to the damage meter as he does end up climbing. Fragments has come back from his Dark Exile. It looks like Genji is now downstairs, but Nalthor is still dropping incredibly low here.
Yeah, Genji did not use the Shadow Melt to delay it, so maybe he's even a hammer left. But there we go, Nalthor just melting as he is going down, and Echo is winning that first dungeon against Golden.
There were rumors of the 14-minute run that Echo might have had, and they have come in under that here at 13:40, a completely absurd time for this post-905 version of Necrotic Wake without that ability to have all that extra rogue damage. So really, really incredible from Echo, and very impressive performance all around.